All right, welcome to another episode of the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. I am Robert Lentini, and we're going to be going over the December 9th episode of WWE RAW in Wichita, Kansas. Mr. Beast's hometown. We had to hear that 25 times tonight. But we're going to go over this entire episode of RAW, and we're also going to be talking about the Rey Fenix and Tony Khan and AEW drama at the end of the show for a few minutes. Got to touch on that. But yeah, I can't wait for the Dynamite review. Just got to talk about that for a minute. But we're going to go over this entire episode of RAW. It was the final episode of RAW before Saturday night's main event. We got some changes to the card at Saturday night's main event during tonight's show. But let's go over it segment by segment, starting with Gunther kicking off the show. He's supposed to be defending his title against Finn Balor at Saturday night's main event, but that match was changed tonight. The Judgment Day interrupted him. They tried to beat him down. Damian Priest shows up. He's pissed at Finn Balor. He's cost him the World Heavyweight Championship twice now. You know, he lost the title to Gunther because of Finn Balor at SummerSlam, and then lost his rematch opportunity at Survivor Series because of Finn Balor. The Judgment Day beats the shit out of Damian Priest. Balor hits coup de grace on three coup de grace on Priest and one on Gunther from the apron to the floor. Poses in the ring. Judgment Day looks like they have all the momentum heading into Saturday night's main event. That is not the case, because then Adam Pearce, Raw GM Adam Pearce, shows up backstage, gets in Balor's face and says, you know what? I've thought about this and I've decided to make a change to the title match. It's now a triple threat. Because of your actions, Damian Priest is now in the match. So at Saturday night's main event, it's going to be Gunther defending his World Heavyweight Championship against Damian Priest and Finn Balor in a triple threat match. I'll do my predictions probably during the Dynamite review after that this week. But I'm predicting Gunther to win. A little spoiler there. There's no way they're taking the title off of Gunther for the Damian Priest and Finn Balor feud. But Pearce also announced that the Judgment Day's Finn Balor and JD McDonough will be defending their World Tag Team Championships against the War Raiders again next week. So maybe the titles will finally be taken off of McDonough and Balor. I'm not all that excited about the War Raiders becoming champions, but at least they'll fucking defend the titles. I mean, Balor and McDonough never defend those titles, and Balor clearly has aspirations to be a single star. He's fighting for singles titles. It's a waste of a tag team. So just put the titles on War Raiders next week, please. But fun opening segment. I like that they added Priest to the match at Saturday night's main event. Makes it more interesting. But again, I think Gunther's retaining. The Wyatt Six faced Final Testament and The Miz tonight in an 8-man tag team match. I've said this a few times now. I really have enjoyed this storyline, and I thought this match was fine. I actually was rooting for the Final Testament and The Miz to win, but I didn't really love the finish. Paul Ellering in October, I believe, a couple months ago, Uncle Howdy hit him with the mandible claw. He was going after The Miz. Ellering gets in the way. He returned tonight and threw some kind of powder substance in Uncle Howdy's face, and Cross hit his finisher for the pinfall victory. So Final Testament and The Miz won the match. I'm not overly upset about that result. I am kind of bothered by Uncle Howdy getting pinned, and I saw some reactions on social media. Well, Uncle Howdy, he has to get pinned sometime. It's Uncle Howdy. He can't win every match. He's had one match since he's returned. Bo Dallas has wrestled once. Tonight was his second match. He was wrestled once since 2019, and that was in August, his victory over Chad Gable. This is his second match since his return. So I don't know where the people are getting this idea that Uncle Howdy's like this unbeatable character. They haven't built him up to be. He's had one match again. So he got pinned in his second match back. So I think we can kind of like close the book on the Wyatt Six being this big faction. I was hoping they were going to be, but I think they're ready to move off of this faction pretty soon, judging by this loss. This was just a... Uncle Howdy getting pinned. Why not just pin Joe Gacy and keep the mystique on Uncle Howdy? That would be my criticism, because then you could have Uncle Howdy versus Karrion Kross in the singles match. Uncle Howdy could say, you've never beaten me. You've beaten my disciples or something. It just feels like the rivalry's over in an opening match on Raw after an opening promo, which is a little anticlimactic for me. And we get to... one of my favorite sequences of the night. Well, we'll go over both of them now. I'm just going to jump to Seth Rollins' promo after this. CM Punk was interviewed by Jackie Redmond tonight on a backstage video interview. Basically just little broed Seth Rollins the entire time. I helped Seth Rollins when he was 16, helped train him. I suggested he shouldn't get fired when he was on the top 10 list of people who are going to get fired from this company. I've done everything that Seth Rollins has done in this company, and I've done it better, and I've done it before him. So if I was Seth Rollins and constantly had to live in CM Punk's shadow, I'd be upset too. Total douchebag promo by CM Punk. But if you like CM Punk, you like this promo. If you don't like CM Punk, you like to hate this promo. So that's the magic of CM Punk that Tony Khan and the rest of the AEW locker room is missing, apparently. But Seth Rollins later in the night cut an awesome promo. One of his better promos in years, I thought. It was an excellent promo by Punk. And Rollins said that when Punk is done wrestling in the ring, he has a career ahead of him as a politician because he twisted the truth so much in his promo. He took one kernel of truth and twisted it into this ridiculous thing where he's responsible for my entire career. That's CM Punk in a nutshell. And he's just trashing CM Punk the entire time, calling him a fraud. A lot of the stuff he was saying was true because Punk, he does have a checkered past, even though he tried to deny that in his Collision promo. I don't know why the hell I'm quoting that, but I remember that line. I don't think my past is checkered. It is a little bit, but that's okay. That's what makes Punk. That's what makes Punk interesting. There's a lot there. There's a lot of meat on the bone. So Rollins is just shit talking CM Punk over and over again. Sami Zayn interrupts and he apologized. He said, "Look, I shouldn't have assumed that it was you who attacked Jey Uso. I was wrong." We found out in a video promo tonight that it was Drew McIntyre who attacked Jey Uso. He admitted it. He said at least CM Punk took a bribe to team up with Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn, the Usos, they all just crawled back to Roman Reigns after everything he's done to them. And he's returning to beat the shit out of all of them, essentially, and he admitted to attacking Jey Uso last week. So that mystery is solved. We still have no idea who attacked Jade Cargill, but at least we know who attacked Jey Uso. It was Drew McIntyre. He's returning as a heel with a vengeance, and he attacks Sami Zayn again tonight after this promo here. But Sami Zayn said Rollins is a better person than McIntyre, and his issues with Punk are worse than he could ever imagine, so he will stay out of his way. Zayn said, "You can handle your issues with Punk however you want to. It's not my place to get involved. I was just mad because, I just went to war with Punk at the men's War Games match at Survivor Series, and then you're berating him the following night. I just felt compelled to get involved. I shouldn't have." So Sami Zayn, very apologetic to Rollins. Seth accepts Sami's apology, but said, you got to worry about Drew McIntyre now. And Rollins leaves. Sami Zayn goes to leave. McIntyre attacks him on the entrance ramp. McIntyre is being yelled at by Adam Pearce backstage. Zayn attacks him as well. And then we get Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre at Saturday night's main event. So that's another hell of a match on that card. I'm really looking forward to Saturday night's main event. This Saturday on NBC. It should be a good show. And Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre. Good 15-minute match. Open the show wherever they want to put it. I'm looking forward to it, but obviously I think Drew McIntyre is winning that one. Next up is a triple threat match. Lyra Valkyria versus Zelina Vega versus Ivy Nile. This is in the Women's Intercontinental Championship Tournament. Lyra Valkyria made it to the finals of the Queen of the Ring and lost to Nia Jax and then promptly fell off the face of the earth. They're trying to rebuild her now, and she picked up the win tonight. I think she pinned Zelina Vega, who has never won a singles title in WWE, may never win a singles title in WWE at this rate. But Lyra Valkyria was the only selection to win this match. She was the only one that should be advancing. Zelina Vega should not be beating Lyra Valkyria at this point. And Ivy Nile is an American made, and that's about it. So Lyra Valkyria advances. I would not be opposed to her winning, becoming the inaugural Women's Intercontinental Champion at all. I think she deserves it. I think she's an excellent in-ring worker. Her promo is not her strength. Give her the workhorse title. I like it. And we get to the best part of the night. The New Day last week celebrated their 10th anniversary as a faction, and it went horribly wrong, or horribly right, actually, for Woods and Kingston. Big E interrupted. They were about to announce they were going to break up. Big E interrupted. Said, you know what, while I'm waiting to be cleared, he's 2 years removed from being cleared after breaking his neck. I want to be your manager. And Xavier Woods is like, let's be honest, you're never going to get cleared. You chose a desk job over us. Get the hell out of here. And there's just a epic promo last week by the New Day and Big E, just kicking Big E out of the group. I was actually into the idea of him being a manager for them, but now this has worked perfectly because I knew that they were going to get booed tonight. I did not know the level of boo they were going to receive. It was like akin to Dominic Mysterio tonight. They were just booed out of the building. They could not speak. Xavier Woods takes control of the camera before they make to the way to the ring. They're walking backstage all cockily. Xavier Woods filming Kofi Kingston. Then they start clapping as they're making their way to the entrance ramp. They're greeted by a chorus of boos. Kofi Kingston's all confused, like, we didn't do anything to Big E. We could have taken a sledgehammer to the back of his neck if we wanted to. We didn't do anything. We just said we didn't want him around. And he just booed out of the building. Xavier Woods like shouting, "We didn't do anything. What do you get? What we've given you 10 years of greatness, of positivity, and you're gonna turn on us in one night?" So they're just not accepting responsibility for their actions. They don't understand that what they did was wrong. They're true heels now, and I'm a fan. I really enjoyed this segment. I love the reaction they got. They were stale as hell as baby faces. There was no New Day Rocks chance anymore. It was just apathy when they came to the ring. Now they're full-blown heels, and they're getting the Dominic Mysterio treatment. Whenever they tried to speak, booed out of the building. So this angle has worked to perfection. Last up, we get the main event, Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez. Anything goes match. Match starts off insane on the entrance ramp, brawling, chair shots, kendo sticks. Rhea Ripley went for a slam in a rough-looking sequence on top of a chair, totally botched it, and Raquel Rodriguez barely touched the chair. That was the worst part of the match, but other than that, Rhea Ripley hit an excellent drop kick off the top rope, and eventually, Liv Morgan gets involved. She attacks Rhea Ripley from behind. Io Sky makes the save. She's facing Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship at Saturday night's main event. They take each other out. Rhea Ripley, it's the riptide on Raquel Rodriguez through the table for the pinfall victory. Fun match. That's about it. Then after the match, Rhea Ripley and Io Sky are both holding the Women's World Championship, kind of like a tug of war. But Liv Morgan's still the champion. And the spoiler on my predictions again, Io Sky's not winning the Women's World Championship at Saturday night's main event. In my opinion, Liv Morgan's retaining for that eventual rematch against Rhea Ripley. I completely skipped over a match that I want to touch on real quick. Dakota Kai versus Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan got the win, obviously. They're not going to give the champion a loss. I don't like the idea of giving Dakota Kai a loss while she's in the women's IC title tournament and won last week. Don't like that. What I don't like even more about this match, what happened tonight, was Pure Fusion Collective was ringside the entire time, kept getting involved, and helped Morgan win. This reminded me of like Mark Briscoe and the conglomeration in AEW, where he's just getting his ass kicked and nobody from his faction is there to help him. Kairi Sane and Io Sky did not help Dakota Kai at all throughout this entire match. After the match, they finally show up. After Pure Fusion Collective was beating Kai down for a couple minutes. I don't understand that. I don't understand why they weren't ringside right away when Pure Fusion Collective showed up. That's the point of a faction. That was a little bonkers to me. That was like an AEW booking on Raw. I don't understand that. They need to work on that. But also, one thing I want to mention too, Tiffany Stratton was spotted talking to Adam Pearce backstage, much like Dominic Mysterio was spotted talking to Nick Aldis on SmackDown. Tiffany Stratton spotted with Adam Pearce. They have this transfer window. Stratton could move to Raw. We'll see. I still think the ultimate storyline ending there is Tiffany Stratton cashing in on Nia Jax on SmackDown to become the new WWE Women's Champion. But that is it for the Raw review. Thank you so much for watching that. All right, now let's just quickly talk about this Rey Fenix, Pentagon Jr., Lucha Bros, AEW drama situation here. So earlier this year, there were rumors that the Lucha Bros were going to be leaving All Elite Wrestling and signing with WWE. Now, Pentagon Jr. is now a free agent, I believe. His contract is up. He hasn't had injury time added to his contract. Rey Fenix, unfortunately for him, apparently is under contract until the quarter 3 or 4 in 2025, it feels like, due to injury, which is somewhat standard for a company to do, to add injury time. But this just feels malicious because they have no plans for Rey Fenix. They're separating him from his brother. If you don't have any plans for Rey Fenix, I don't think this negative PR hit is worth keeping him around. He's not, like, what is Rey Fenix and Pentagon Jr. going to do in WWE? They're going to be a popular tag team, but they're like the Motor City Machine Guns. Like, yeah, they're a popular tag team, but they don't make a difference in the grand scheme of things. Everybody's tuning in to see Roman Reigns and the rest, and CM Punk and the stars, and the rest is just fills in and makes the show whole and enjoyable. But I don't understand, like, if this was a CM Punk contract situation, I would get it. But to hold Rey Fenix in this manner is very weird. And then Rey Fenix tweeting these cryptic tweets out. First, Sportskeeda's Chris Featherstone broke this story, essentially. Just he's been hearing from sources that it's going to get very ugly with Rey Fenix. And he said Rey Fenix was not his source, so he didn't want to put Rey Fenix on blast. But Rey Fenix commented on Featherstone's post and said, "This is the most accurate tweet about the situation I've ever seen." And then Rey Fenix follows it up with this tweet: "I needed a doctor and you ignored me for months." Now, I hate to keep bringing up the CM Punk situation, but I'm going to keep doing it. CM Punk suffered a torn triceps in AEW. He suffered one in WWE too, ridiculously, but he suffered one in AEW. This was during or before Brawl Out, probably against his match against Jon Moxley at All Out 2022. Then he gets into this fight with the Elite. He's gone for 9 months, returns on Collision, and then is fired 2.5 months later at All In 2023. He goes on Ariel Helwani's podcast and says, "Nobody from AEW helped me during that surgery. I had to find everyone, I had to find my own rehab spot. If you think that's, the correct way to treat people, that's fine." Then he said, I don't know if they treat the Jaguars players like that, which is a great shot. It's just a great point. They don't. They don't treat the Jacksonville Jaguars players like that. Just fucking figure out your injuries. AEW has this thing, I believe, where it's like will pay for your surgery after the fact or whatever. If Rey Fenix was suffering an injury and trying to get in contact with the company and they ignored him because of a contract dispute, and now they're keeping him under contract while still have not provided medical or whatever his issue is, that's a fucking huge problem, and this is going to get really ugly if it's that malicious. If the people running AEW are that much of petty babies that they're going to hang on to Rey Fenix out of spite and not offer medical help or whatever the issue is, this is going to keep trickling out because Rey Fenix is under contract until 2025. If I were Tony Khan, I would say, hey, I'm a big fan of NDAs, right? Let me offer you another NDA and we'll just void this contract. You can go off and go to WWE. But let me offer you this NDA to end whatever this is. This is the one time I actually would agree with Tony Khan throwing out an NDA, because this is a disaster. They had their All In Texas press conference today. I had no fucking idea, as I spit everywhere. I have no fucking idea that was occurring today until I saw it after the fact on YouTube. And I watch AEW every week. I must have missed that. But Big Boom AJ's back. The Costco guys are going to be competing at All In Texas. That's their biggest draw. Big Boom AJ and the Costco guys. So I'm just disappointed with the leadership in AEW. This is just turning into a rambling thing. But it's just, I don't know how else to put it into words, that I'm just so disappointed in what the structure, what the company has become. I didn't realize that Cody Rhodes leaving would create this ridiculous domino effect, that there's no leadership at all in the promotion. I thought they were better than that. I thought they were more prepared than that. Shame on me for believing that. But this is like dumpster bullshit leaking to the media. Terrible. This is what they did to CM. This is like they leak shit about CM Punk. They get rid of him. Now that other people want to leave, they're just going to keep getting negative publicity from themselves. I just can't believe this promotion keeps getting in their own way, this much, while trying to compete with WWE, trying to do stadium shows. You don't need stories like this. You very liberal with your NDAs there, Mr. Khan. Why not do another one and say, best of luck to your future endeavors, Rey Fenix. It didn't work out here in the end. I don't want it to end like this. I'm sorry about your medical shit. Let's get that resolved. Sign this NDA, never talk about it again, go to WWE and have a great rest of your career. That's the only solution to this. There's no, they can't reconnect with Pentagon. They can't reunite the Lucha Bros. They're not going to use Rey Fenix as a single star. They're not using Ricky Starks because of whatever reason. This is petty bullshit. This isn't professional wrestling. This is dumb. This is poor leadership. This is embarrassing for the company. And I just wanted to comment on that. I don't know if I made any sense there, but I just wanted to talk about that for 5 minutes because I think it's just emblematic of what's wrong with that company. It's just they have all this talent in the world, but if you just can't communicate with them like a human being, you shouldn't be in a fucking position of leadership. And that's how I feel about Tony Khan. And that's how I feel about AEW. I feel like Tony Khan will forever hold AEW back with his decision making. I just don't think he has what it takes. But that is it for episode 62, I believe, of the Ridiculously Lame Wrestling Show. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have not subscribed, please do so. And we'll see you guys on the Dynamite review this Wednesday. Have a good one.